Hello and welcome to another episode of the BashTalk podcast. It's been a while. I've been busy with quite a few things, but I do have a special guest with us today, and it's none other than Mr. Arfan Dad himself.
Hi, Assalamu alaikum. How are you doing?
Doing good, Arfan, doing good. Now, Arfan is someone who's actually done really, really well on an international stage in the competitive pool arena, and I believe you do play a bit of snooker as well, but I think this is more your bag, isn't it?
Yeah. So English pool is my bread and butter. I do play snooker, but not like on the main snooker circuit or anything like that. More in local leagues.
Okay.
It's more of a hobby, really. Snooker. I enjoy playing the game. But yeah, I've dabbled with all the cue sports, but English pool is what I focus on mainly.
Okay, so let's go right to the start then. So you're Keighley born and bred.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, Yorkshireman, yeah. Right, and then what age group are you in? So are you 40s or 30s?
No, I'm just about still in the 30s, so
30s.
I'm 39. So I don't mind saying how old I am.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I just had a bad experience from a previous podcast where I got told off afterwards. But yeah, so how did you get into this game?
It's actually a funny story because I'm quite a competitive person, and I'm working in like a part-time job. It was actually in McDonald's when I was studying, and we just obviously got talking to a lad that obviously worked with me, and I didn't know how good he was at pool. I thought I could pot a few balls, and he said, "Oh, we'll have a game." I said, "I thought I'd wipe the floor with him." So I've gone down there. He wiped the floor with me because he was a lot better than me at the time.
Okay.
I just kind of like that's when my competitive nature kicked in. I'm thinking, I don't really want to, I don't want that to be my last memory. So I just carried on, and then I just got the book for it, and
Okay.
I knew I had a bit of natural ability with my potting. I could pot a good ball, and then I just worked on the rest of my game.
And then, so like pool and snooker, generally, it is something that a lot of people will play casually. There's snooker halls up and down the country, and even in the Asian community, it's just a thing where people are just, it's like a casual thing. There's no concept of like amateur or professional or anything like that. So how did you get to the level where you've kind of got to where you are now, which we'll go into more detail shortly, but I just want to get a feel for, you went from that one match after that day at McDonald's, and then you've kind of ended up at an international stage. How did you kind of get your foot in the door of the proper competitions?
So from having a few frames with my mate who I worked with at the time, he got me into a local league team in our local pool league.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my first taste of like competitive action. Playing a couple of frames on a Monday night in the local league.
Yeah.
And then as you progress, so that was like playing in maybe, I think it might have been the first division, so it was one below the Premier Division, playing for a team. And then I kind of just progressed from there. He then moved to a different team that was higher up. I kind of like tagged along with him.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not straight away. Maybe like a few months later, as I like got better myself.
Okay.
And then so I made. Looking back now, I probably did make some quick progress because I probably played in the local leagues maybe 3.5 years before I won like my first like big title. I would say was like winning the local pool leagues individuals title. So that was at the time a big deal for me because that gave me the confidence to play in bigger tournaments. So I felt like I've achieved, I've kind of hit the pinnacle at a local level.
So is that the point? Because what I was going to ask you is, when did you realize, this is actually something that you're quite good at? Because it's one thing to like, you can have like your league competitions, and like you said, the Monday nights you're starting off, you got a team and you just go and play, and there's still that element of like, it's a little bit casual still, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just like, you're with friends and you're playing. But what point did you kind of think, actually, hang on a second, I think I can make have a real go at this in terms of a career?
Probably maybe leading up to winning that local local league title, I'd say.
Okay.
I thought, I could see the improvement in my game. Obviously, from what I started off with, the first time I played my mate, I could see the level that I was at from then to what I was at that stage, maybe 2003, 2004.
Okay.
So yeah, I felt like I could maybe give it a good go.
That's good. So then, when you kind of started competing, a lot of the discussion we're having now is you're kind of doing local at this stage, aren't you?
Yeah.
So when did you have to do like a proper competition where you were like, okay, leaving the Yorkshire borders,
Yeah.
I've got to travel somewhere far and I've got to compete.
Yeah. So so once I won the local, my first local league singles title, I joined what was like the Premier English Pool Tour in the UK really. So that was like maybe 2004-5 time, I think it was. So I joined that, and that obviously was a big wake-up call because you had the world's best players. Because obviously, it's same with snooker, the world's best snooker players.
Yeah.
Well, the majority of them are on these shows in the UK. They're UK based.
Okay.
The same with pool. So the world's best English pool players, majority of them are UK based. So they all played on that tour. So it was a real eye opener for me because I didn't have the best of debut seasons on the tour. So, but obviously I was like competitive. I just wanted to see how far I can go. So I kept with it. My second season I had better results. Got myself up the rankings, and just slowly but surely I just climbed rankings, won titles outside my local town, around Yorkshire, some further away.
So did you ever hit any kind of stumbling blocks in your progression, or has it just been a nice steady straight line?
Yeah, I would say I haven't really experienced any stumbling blocks as such. No, nothing that like really stopped me in my tracks. It's just I've just made a nice gradual progression up the ladder.
Okay, and so now we're talking about the progression and ladders. So tell me some of the places that you've had to travel to just to for your competitions, because I did say international. So
yeah. So I've obviously been to China a few times playing a different cue sport. It's called Chinese 8-ball.
Okay.
I was going there before COVID happened. I was going there 2 or 3 times a year.
Okay.
So playing Chinese 8-ball out there against the top Chinese 8-ball players. They're basically the best players in that country, and so there's quite a few of the UK lads were going over competing against them, but they had like a massive advantage over us because we don't play that game, and it wasn't, to start off with, it wasn't really accessible. The tables that we play on weren't really over here in the UK, so we were kind of going over there a bit cold, not enough practice.
Yeah.
So I would say China is the furthest I've travelled for pool, but I've also played all over Europe.
Wow.
Well, I say all over, a few European countries, Germany, Hungary, Ireland.
But was that English pool in those countries?
No, so Germany was, I've played Chinese pool and American pool, so 9-ball, American 9-ball. So when I said I dabbled with all the key sports, I did mean that. I've played American 9-ball, and then Hungary. That was more American pool, so they're different games: American 9-ball, American 10-ball.
And then some of these tournaments and competitions are quite high profile, aren't they?
Oh yeah, definitely. So I mean, the ones that I play in now with the organisation I play under now, Ultimate Pool, they have events live on TV. Well, it used to be called the Free Sports TV channel. Now it's called Viaplay, I think.
Okay.
So you can they have like Monday, obviously one on last night.
Yeah.
And then they've got their own streaming service too, their own like subscription service. You can watch every single event of theirs. If it's not on live TV, you can watch it on their streaming service.
Must have been a nice feeling for your family to be able to just sit and watch you actually play on an
Yeah,
actual
it
TV
is.
channel.
Yeah, my son loves watching me play. He's a big fan of mine actually. Yeah, it is. Sometimes you kind of take things for granted, but
Yeah.
I probably didn't see myself playing on live TV at this game anyway.
Hmm.
Because even like good mates of mine that have been world champions at this version of pool, English pool.
Hmm.
It wasn't. It was never shown live. It was like pre-recorded.
Right.
It was shown on Sky Sports, but it wasn't shown live on Sky Sports. So it was like recorded, and then it was like shown over maybe a couple of months later, over a few weeks, type of thing. So now, because the game's moved on, Ultimate Pool have taken it, up a few levels. They've got like live broadcasters, televising us. We've played on last season. We played on BT Sport, so that was a big.
Oh wow.
Yeah. We played on BT Sport. We'll be playing on BT Sport again this December too, in like a month's time, over the Christmas period. But it's you have to qualify to get to the TV stage. It's sort of like snooker. Sometimes you got to play one or two rounds before you're playing on Eurosport or BBC. Similar concept. So I managed to get on to the BT Sport TV stage last year in the same tournament.
Oh, that's good.
So hopefully, I can do the same in December.
What's your work-life balance like then?
The work is really good for me. They're really flexible with my requests, because some of my holiday requests are quite last minute. Cause, I don't really know how I'm gonna get on. So I've got like a qualifying stage on the 12th of December in an event. So that's like the last 16. So that's the second stage I'm going to be playing in that event. So if I get through that stage, the finals night is literally a week later on the Monday.
Okay.
So I won't know until the 12th of December that I've finished. How I've got on.
Then you got to make
then I can
that
ask
call
for
to management.
call to the boss. Yeah, I need that day off. So, but they're really good with me. Cause it works both ways. I work, I'm pretty flexible with work unsociable hours sometimes to do the work that I do, and they give the same flexibility back to me.
Right. So I think, when we're looking at the bigger picture, like we're sat in Keighley now.
Yeah.
And you're someone who's obviously, you're educated, you're an IT professional, and you're playing pool or variants of cue-based sports on an international stage. But at the same time, it's literally, I could drive 5 minutes down the road, maybe even take a walk down the road here, and I might bump into someone, born and raised in Keighley that's took like a completely different path. And I guess the question is like, do you have any kind of anything you want to share with the younger generation, just to kind of inspire them or to kind of motivate them and say, look, you can be something? Yeah,
100%. See, we don't really see many, Asian lads getting into professional sport. This is like obviously on the borderline being a sport or a, I don't know what you want to call it, a game, but it allows me to, be competitive in that field. So, whether it's football or, cricket, whatever, if you're good at something and you feel like you are and you believe in your ability, don't let anything stop you. Just go for it. You only have one go, don't you, really? So, even, if your parents are saying, oh, it's going to be a waste of time or you got to believe in yourself. I'm not saying don't, disobey your parents, but my dad was saying, you're kind of wasting your time, and now he's like championing me to like his mates. Oh yeah, my son's a champion pool player. I'm thinking, oh yeah. So it's one of them, isn't it? So so if you do, if you feel like you've got the talent at whatever sport or whatever you're doing, just go for it. I know a few good Asian footballers that should have really, I don't know, joined a professional football team. They had the talent, but they didn't for whatever reason. So if you're good at something, you should definitely give it a good go. See where it can take you. You'll never know where it can take you if you don't give it a good go.
No, that's those are good words because I think sometimes, so like you've approached the sport and then you've obviously had to do a bit of grinding, so a bit of, okay, I've got to leg it from work, I've got to go get to a tournament, and then you've got to manage family time and everything, and you've kind of gone through a bit, you could say, difficulty with that, but you've kind of persevered as well, haven't you?
Yeah.
Whereas I think some of let's just say the younger generation, I think they just don't kind of handle that adversity that well, and they just be like, I'll just leave it, I'll just be casual. Whereas how many of these younger lot could have the potential to even get to your level? We don't know. It's
we don't. I mean, it's just having the belief and the perseverance is probably the right word.
Yeah.
You just got to keep going until you think, maybe I'm not gonna quite make it, but you should persevere for as long as you can.
Yeah, because you must have had a day when you're like, you've done a tournament and think,
Oh yeah, I've never really thought about giving up at any point. To be honest with you, I've always, the day I stop being competitive, like if I know myself that I'm not really playing to the level I know I'm capable of in tournaments, that's probably when I will quit. Hopefully that day is not anytime soon. I feel like I've still got a few years left in me.
Okay.
The lad that won the World Championships this year, literally 3-4 weeks ago, he's in his 50s. So
wow.
So you can have a long career if you keep at it, and if you've got a good I don't know, sensible head, if that's the right word. So some people get into bad habits or whatever, but I feel like if you live your life properly, put in the hard work, you can have a long career.
No, that's good. And then, because we're sat in your little setup and get up that you've got over here. What's the practice routine like for you then?
So at this game, I'll probably practice quite a bit to start off with. When I first started getting into the game, I was literally, obviously I didn't have this room back then. I was at the local pool club called Pilkey's in Keighley, practicing, up to 4 or 5 hours a day, with the other lads. And now it's kind of, the odd hour here and there, maybe more if there's a big tournament coming up. So it's just to keep my game sharp now. But I play, like I said, as long as you're playing a cue sport, it'll keep your game sharp because you're using the same cue. You're keeping your cue action going. Your eyes like.
It's the hand-eye coordination.
That's it. It just keeps your game sharp. Any cue sport, but I try and play at least 1 or 2 hours a week at this game. Sometimes more. It depends what I'm doing.
Okay. So what's your favourite place to play?
Favourite place to play? In the UK, I played a tournament down in Torquay. That was beautiful. I think that's the best place I've played in the UK in terms of like scenery and the location. It was really good, Torquay. I don't know, I played in the Copper Box Arena this year where they had I think they had the boxing during the London Olympics. I don't know what else. Cycling maybe.
Because there was that. Because the cycling one was at Velodrome place, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think. Was that? They obviously used that arena, the Copper Box Arena, it's called in London. For a few of the indoor sports during the Olympics. So they had a 9-ball tournament there this year in the summer. I played in that. That was a good experience.
That's good, man. So you've got a few places and you kind of like them. It's just like, I don't know, maybe if someone's like a hardcore snooker head, they'd love to play at the
actually, the one in Germany, I forgot. We played the tournament, the Chinese 8-ball tournament in Germany was in the middle of a town centre. So it was actually in a shopping centre, sorry.
All right.
So they actually set up the tournament. you can imagine like Meadowhall or Trafford Centre.
Yeah.
So they had tables stretching, like you obviously have a row of shops.
Yeah, yeah.
So there'll be like 3 tables down that row, and you might take a left turn there, and there's another 2 tables set up there, and then right in the middle, when you have that big open space in the middle in the town centre,
Yeah.
they had like 2 or 3 tables where the TV tables. It was an unreal
Right.
setup, quite loud. Shoppers walking by and thinking, what's going on here? And
Yeah, yeah.
you know, upstairs they had the what do you call it? The kitchen in the shopping centre. Like the Trinity kitchen in
Oh, yeah.
the
Food court kind
food
of
courts.
thing.
Yeah, so they had the food court literally upstairs, overlooking the TV table, and you could hear all the the alarms going off from the fryers and everything. That's probably the most surreal place I've played pool in. The shopping centre in
It's gonna
Bremen
take a
in
lot
Germany.
of focus.
Yeah, it needed good concentration to play in
Wow.
in that anyway. But I enjoyed it. That was little bit of a regret too. I should have won that tournament. I finished runner up. So,
Yeah.
but it was good though. I enjoyed playing that tournament.
Right. Well, I think just to kind of round the conversation off, it's, over the years, you've obviously played a lot of places, you've accomplished a lot. Is there anything or any people, or is there any kind of shout out you want to give to anybody, or any kind of message you want to give out whilst you got this platform?
Yeah, obviously, first shout out probably to my local club who gave me the facilities to play to start off with, Pilkeys and Keithley. Then probably my mates really. There's a Whirlpool champion that comes from Keithley called Chris Melling. He's helped me out quite a bit, along my journey. Obviously the mate that got me into pool. Gotta give him a mention. I have given him a mention previously. Probably I don't know if I've given him a mention by name, but yeah, Costa. He's called. He's the one that got it all started back in the day. Other than that, probably obviously my sponsors. They've obviously helped me out a great deal over the years. My current sponsors, hair doctor Faz, he helps me out quite a bit. So
Okay.
yeah.
And then, actually, on that note, if anybody is looking to sponsor you as an athlete, what's the point of contact? You've got a Facebook page?
I'm on most social media platforms, Facebook, Insta.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so if you are interested, drop us a message.
Well, actually, yeah. So that reminds you. What's your pool name again?
Pool. Oh, the nickname you mean?
Yeah.
The Daddy.
The Daddy. Arfan the
Not
Daddy.
much thought went into that. It was actually when I was playing in like team events. It just my teammates obviously when I was playing my frames, they kept on calling me the Daddy, go on the Daddy. So it just kind of stuck. So
Yeah.
I thought let's just go with it. Everyone just calls me that anyway. So
Yeah.
It's quite original, but yeah.
Right. Firstly, I just want to say thank you for
Thanks.
giving me the time.
Thanks for coming over and.
And I appreciate you giving me this time because I know you're busy and I've been kind of ignoring everyone for the past couple of months anyway. So we finally made it happen. Busy. Yeah. And as for the viewers, as I always keep promising stuff, so I'm not going to say anything. Just stay tuned, subscribe, and hopefully I'll have some more stuff whenever it happens. But peace out.
Yeah, thank you.